Breaking news, Brian Walshe pleads guilty to 2 charges related to the disappearance of his wife. I'm Kel Thompson. The stunning confession coming just as jury selection was getting underway in his trial this morning.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty here today, you're giving up your right to pursue any arguments or motions that your attorneys may have made or filed on your behalf in this case, and that may include motions to dismiss and motions to suppress, as well as your right to appeal any rulings or decisions that the court may have already made in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you willing to give up each of those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's get you right out to Boston 25 News reporter Bob Ward, live in Norfolk County Superior Court in Dedham. Bob, this was a surprise this morning. He is admitting to 2 lesser charges in this case, including disposing of a body, but not to her murder. He still faces trial for that.
Yeah, that's right, Kel. This is a real shock here in Norfolk County Superior Court. Brian Walshe, the man accused of murdering his missing wife, Anna Walshe, now pleading guilty to 2 counts against him, just as the jury is being selected in this incredible trial. Now, Brian Walshe is pleading guilty to the charges of misleading police in their investigation and unlawfully disposing of his missing wife's body. Anna Walshe disappeared over New Year's Eve 2023. Brian Walshe is now admitting that he lied to police when he told them that he last saw Anna taking an Uber to the airport early on New Year's Day. He told them that there was an emergency and she was trying to get to her job in Washington, D.C. He is also admitting that he removed Anna's body from their home and disposed of it. Authorities say Brian Walshe dismembered his wife and placed her remains in various dumpsters around the state. Anna Walshe has never been found, but now Brian Walshe, on the eve of his murder trial, is admitting that, in fact, she is dead. Brian Walshe was indicted on 3 counts in this case. He has just pleaded guilty to counts 2 and 3. He is still charged with the first-degree murder of his wife, Anna Walshe. We spoke to Boston attorney Peter Ellikin, and he's just as surprised as the rest of us with what is happening.
The idea they have such a strong case that he covered up this with internet searches and going and getting a Tyvek suit and a hacksaw and everything. He can't, that's his hardest part, is to deny that he did something with the body. So what he could be doing is saying something like, she died from some other reason, but I thought I was going to be accused or something. So, yeah, I did do a cover-up. So get me for the cover-up.
Well, right now, jury selection is beginning in the courtroom. There's a pool of 70 potential jurors that was brought into the courtroom today. They're asking everyone their thoughts about this case and whether or not they can fairly and impartially whether or not they have an opinion on this case and whether they can impartially rule on guilt or innocence. The goal is to seat 16 jurors by the end of this week, and Cal, testimony on the 1 count of first-degree murder now starts on December 1st.
This was a stunning admission in court today, Bob, and the first confirmation that we have had that Anna Walshe is in fact dead. Based on what Peter Ellikin said, is this setting us up for Walshe to have to take the stand and explain what happened?
You know, I think so. I spoke to another attorney today, and he told me that this does set the stage for that. And just yesterday, I talked to people in the legal community about this, and they said it's highly doubtful that Brian Walshe would take the stand in his own defense. But now that these other matters have been set aside, Brian Walshe would conceivably be the only person who can tell the jury what happened to his wife. You know, this is all supposition right now. We're all trying to figure this out. But that is the feeling among the legal community. Also, Cal, another thing, and it's just a technicality, but I think it's an important one, and it drives this whole thing home, is that at the beginning of the day of this session, Brian Walshe said that he was married, the father of 3 children. But then the prosecution said, look, with these admissions, that's not accurate. And then Brian Walshe had to admit that he is no longer lawfully married to Anna Walshe. It really drives home that point that Anna Walshe is dead, even though we don't have her body.
Like you said, just an absolutely stunning admission today. Bob, thank you so much for your expert perspective on this and your continuing coverage. We know you'll have more this afternoon. Stay with Boston 25 News as we follow every twist and turn of the Brian Walshe murder trial. We will stream court hearings as they happen on boston25news.com and in the Boston 25.